Hey everyone, it's Solomon King, and today's video explores how artificial intelligence is revolutionizing the world of music and sound production. We'll take a look at two tools that use AI to create and process music. The first tool is called Beatoven, which lets you create interesting AI-generated music, and the second tool is AudioShake, a game-changing software that allows you to extract individual stems from any song that you choose. So whether you're a sound producer, a musician, or just a lover of great music, you'll definitely enjoy this video. And as always, let me know your thoughts in the comments. All right, so let's take a look at Beatoven. You can access Beatoven from Beatoven.ai. Beatoven says you can create customizable, royalty-free music that elevates your story. It uses advanced artificial intelligence music generation techniques to compose unique, mood-based music to suit every part of your video or your podcast. So you can pick a genre or a style, you can make some cuts in your music, you can change the mood of your music, and then you can compose in order to produce the final output of your music. So let's get started creating. You can access it free of charge. I think there's a trial period, but then after that you'd have to start paying. A lot of the tools that we'll be reviewing definitely have a trial period, but mostly you can access it free of charge. So it will ask you about your profession, some personal information about your industry and your team size, and then after that you can get started. So the first thing you do is create a project, give it a title, give it a duration. You can change the duration, give it a tempo, whether you want it slow, medium, or upbeat. Then it will ask you to select from 8 genres. There's Indian, there's pop, there's ambient, cinematic, electronic, hip hop, etc. So just listen through and get a feel for what you're trying to look for. Then once you're satisfied that this is the direction you want to go, then you can pick that genre and then move forward. So for our case, we are going to select pop just because I want something nice and funky and upbeat. And then it will ask you about the emotions you want to assign to the track. So you can say you want sad music, you want motivational music, happy, triumphant, angry, etc. All these are really interesting styles that you can attach to your music, and it will give you a different output for all of them. So once you're happy, in our case, we've decided to go with energetic, and we'll make that selection, and then it will start composing an AI track. Everything will be automatically generated for you. And now this is the compose interface. Let's take a listen. So what you're listening to is actually music that has been generated automatically by an artificial intelligence. So maybe we can change the tempo a bit, and then we need to recompose. And once it's done, now it's a much faster soundtrack, much faster beat. We'll take a look at the instruments that it has, or the different stems that are used to sort of stack the music. Think about this as layers of music that make up the track, or different instruments and voices and melodies that make up the track. In this case, we have chords, which is most likely from guitar. We have a melody, we have bass, we have the percussions, which is basically the drums. So as we keep switching back and forth, you can listen to how the music changes as we select and deselect in order to remove certain components from the music soundtrack. Let's listen to that now. So you'll see that there is a significant change in the music. One of the instruments has been removed, and so it sounds a little bit more dynamic. Let's disable the chords and listen to that again. And you can see the change as well. Let's remove the percussions, and then we recompose the track, and then you'll see how the track changes. So all of this is being done on the fly. Basically, the AI is determining how to recompose this music based on the selections that you've made. It's nothing incredible or amazing, but I think it's perfectly usable in case you want something that you can maybe use as an inspiration or in a simple project. All right, let's drop it all back. So this tool also allows you to do basic edits like volume changes. So let's do a quick volume level adjustment and then watch as it changes over time. So we've created different keyframes that show at what level volume should be at certain points, and then we'll see how that transition works over time. And as you can see, the volume is actually, has been changed the way that we expected it. So then you can go ahead to download it in either MP3 or WAV format. It's helpful to use your social media handles so that it licenses it. One of the really tricky things around music online is licensing. So this software will actually license the music on the channel that you select in order to avoid any copyright issues. You can go ahead and create and experiment a little bit more, but I just want to quickly cover the payment options. You have the basic version, which is free, which allows only one user. It gives you access to all genres and moods. You can access the instruments, volume dynamics, and then you can create 15 minutes of music every single month. You must give credit to Beatoven AI on your videos, and the copyright will be owned by Beatoven AI. And then the perpetual license means that you can monetize the music on your content, I hope. And then the pro version is charged on a per user basis, so you can have multiple users. The lowest version is 2 users. It gives you 60 minutes of free monthly downloads. I think these monthly downloads basically mean that you can use this as much as you want online, but when you're downloading the final file, you then meet the limits. I think. I don't have the money to test it. And in this case, you don't have to attribute Beatoven.ai, which means that the music essentially can be seen as yours. You can access your stems, which means that you can access the different layers that make up the track. So you can access the percussion instrument separately, you can access the melody or the vocal separately, etc. And then, it will give you priority email support and access to new features. So then here it will ask you to indicate where you're going to use your music so that it can license it in all of those places. And once you're done with that, then you're ready to go. So I think this is a really interesting tool in case you want to explore some AI music. It may or may not suit your style. I feel like some of it is a little too generic, and sometimes some of the things that I've tested, it almost feels like the music is a little too wonky. I don't know how to explain it, but it doesn't quite feel right. It's usable, but if you have an ear for music, you'll notice that there are lots of issues. So I think it's a really interesting tool. Let me know what your thoughts are. So the next tool we are going to look at is called AudioShake, and AudioShake works with major studio labels. And what AudioShake specifically does is it allows you to get your music stems. Now, music stems are essentially the different elements that make up your music. So you can have your guitar, you can have your vocals, you can have your melodies, you can have your percussion instruments, and all of these make up the stems. And so when you have a final song or a final piece of music, all your stems are mixed down into one final track, and then that final track is eventually what the musician or artist releases to the public. But during the course of the production, each of these different layers or each of those different stems can be individually reused, remixed, etc. So you will not see a musician uploading just the vocals, for example, or just the instrumentals, unless they're trying to create an acoustic version that people can use for covers. However, if you have a piece of music that is already complete and you want to get the different instruments, you'd either have to go back to the studio and have the producer export those stems for you, or you can use a tool like AudioShake. So obviously the assumption is that you're using this tool for legal purposes. You are the actual owner of the music. Anyway, so let's check it out. So there's an indie version which you can try for free and allows you to get your stems. Artists and musicians will love that. So obviously, you do the usual sign in, sign up, etc. It asks you to verify your email account, and then you select a track. So this is a track called Love a Little Harder by an artist called Mind Me. So once it's done uploading, you're able to select the stems that you want. You can choose instrumentals, vocals, bass, drums, piano, etc. I'm not sure if there's a standard, but I think it identifies the music and then picks out what possible instruments are in there and then creates stems for those. So I'm going to select all of them and let's see what it does. And then it asks me to split the track. It takes a bit of time to process, but as you wait, you can listen to other samples of what it's done. In this case, it's a song that has different vocals, bass, drums, etc. So it looks very promising, but let's wait for our song. So it has finished extracting 6 of the stems. Let's listen to what that sounds like. Okay, so we have the different tracks which represent the different layers of the music. We have the vocals, we have the drums, we have the instruments, we have the guitar, etc. And it has tried to extract them as best as it can. So let's take a listen to the full track just briefly, and then we'll take a listen to the different stems.
Everybody has their job, 9 to 5, and getting drained.
So if we hit play at this point without doing any muting or soloing, it's going to play the entire track. However, when we click on mute, then we'll basically say turn off this particular track. When we hit on solo, we'll say play only this track. So let's see how that works.
Everybody has their job, 9 to 5, and getting drained.
All right, so far this looks pretty okay. It's pretty much the original song, but this time it's not playing the track. It has basically split it up and it's combining all of those different stems into what you're listening to. So if I'm not using studio speakers, so I can't tell the acoustic difference, but at this point, it's really exciting that it's been able to split this up and extract the tracks that we need. All right, so the big test, let us solo the vocals. Solo basically means that just play this one solo track, and let's see how that goes.
Everybody has their job, 9 to 5, and getting drained.
AudioShake.
For second best.
Can you imagine how incredible this is? This software has basically used artificial intelligence to remove the sound of the woman speaking and place that on its own separate track or stem, which basically means if we just want the acoustic version of this song, we can just pull out her voice and use it on something else. And this is incredible. This is actually a game changer. I have an artist friend who was complaining that one of her producers had refused to give her the stems for her music, even though she had paid for it. And so in a situation like this, is it ethical? Is it not? I don't know. I don't know what the legal repercussions would be or what the contractual terms of a contract with a producer would be. But I think this is an option for an artist to be able to reclaim back some of the music, assuming they're doing it legally. Obviously, before you pay for it, there's a watermark, and that's why you'll keep hearing things like AudioShake. It's basically an acoustic watermark that means that it hasn't yet been licensed. So that's incredible. Let's see what it has done with the rest of the instruments. So I tried soloing the drums, but the track was too short, so all I got was the watermark. All right, let's solo the instrumentals. Oh, this is exciting. So I think for its instrumentals, it's basically extracted the guitar track, because these are just a few instruments. I can't tell them very well, but I know that there's a guitar, there's a bit of piano note somewhere there, there's a bit of percussion instruments as well. But yeah, so it's been able to extract the instrumental version of this, and it's sort of mixed down the guitar, because I see the waveforms for the guitar and the instrumental look similar. So of course you can extract this as MP3 or WAV files. MP3 is normally more compressed, WAV is normally higher quality. And then if you want to download your stems, you can select the different stems. I see that some stems are priced higher than others. I don't know why. I think maybe that's the amount of music that's in that stem. I don't know, but you can select your stems. So I'm going to share the workflow for this in a different video. I sampled a few different songs, and we'll see how it treats each of those songs separately. I'll put out a longer video later. All right, so when you're done and you want to purchase your music, you can select the stems and the tracks that you want, and it will give you one final bill, and then it will allow you to license that music to yourself. I don't know how the post-extraction licensing works, and I'm not going to try and find out because I don't have this kind of money. So I just wanted to quickly check out some settings, basic username, password, and then the interesting thing is the subscription model. So you can have the starter subscription that allows you to extract 4 stems per month at $5 per stem. So I don't know how this licensing works. Maybe you can pay that $20 a month and then extract just 4 stems, or you can pay on a per stem extraction. But anyway, there's a starter tier and there's a standard tier, and then there's a pro tier. And I think depending on whether you want to extract MP3 or WAV, the price changes. It looks pretty steep, but I think for an artist that's trying to redeem their music or remix their music, or for a producer that's trying to remix a piece of music, I think it's worth it. I think it saves you an incredible amount of money that you could be spending on studio time and recording sessions. Again, these artificial intelligence tools are designed to help us do things better. So I'm really hoping that they can be used well, but humanity is humanity. Yeah, so that's it for these two tools. As you can see, AI is not just being used to generate text or images, but lots of people are using it in different industries. So I will be spending the next few weeks just exploring how different industries are using AI. So I'll be exploring a lot of tools, and I'll probably be dropping a video a week focusing specifically on artificial intelligence as I continue to build other videos for my channel. Thanks for watching. I hope this was useful. See you in the next video.